We are live. Oh, you know what we forgot is our tea. Do you have anything to drink? I totally forgot.
And I
Oh,
have
and look at what I have. Oh no. Welcome
iced
everyone.
tea. I don't know what we'll call that. We'll call it iced tea or something.
I was so excited that you were coming. I was so excited. I totally forgot about my tea. This is Chala, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. This is allegedly Tuesday Tea Time with Chala with my special guest, Samantha Worrell, the gift tailor. Welcome, Sam. I'm so happy to have you here. I even forgot to get a tea. And you're British. Like, this is even double shame on me.
No, not at all, not at all. I'm a secret coffee preferrer or sorry,
Oh
herbal tea.
no.
Don't
Oh,
tell
can
my
you
fellow
tell your
herbal tea, green teas as well.
don't tell the queen?
Yeah. It's funny, I actually have a poll running on about this right now on LinkedIn because I want to see how the Americans vote, it's been interesting.
Now, but did you become a coffee lover when you moved to the States?
No, I didn't. I think it's probably university that got me there, trying to stay awake. You get sold on the
Oh,
idea. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, because you went to law school. Hello, for sure. I
Yeah.
know. I'm surprised you didn't even get like my mom. She's a lawyer. She got Coke bottom glasses. Like she ended up with giant glasses. That's how bad it was. She said it was law school.
I
It
do,
was
don't tell.
you the same, right? Isn't that crazy? Oh my God. Well, so enough chit chat. So tell us what you do for a living.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the CEO and founder of a company called The Gift Tailor. I'm a client engagement and retention expert, providing strategic solutions for law firms to retain their clients, all using the power of gifting.
Yay! Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so by now we let the cat out of the bag that you're a lawyer. How did you come to be the gift tailor?
Oh gosh. Well, it's funny. I've had a few of my own gifting faux pas, which is sort of how it happened. And I do love gifting. Um, but you get really busy, and you've got the best of intentions, and it all goes awry, and then you try to grab something in a hurry, and that's what happened to me. And I had this, I call it Chanel Gate, this very embarrassing moment where I gave something in a Chanel bag because the department store gave me whatever bag was at that counter, and it wasn't Chanel inside, And so we're sitting around at a table and we're doing our exchange, giving everyone their gift, and didn't and to me, I'm like, I got it done in time. We had deadlines, there's a piece of litigation, and we had discovery deadlines. I was like, but I got my gift done, and the one person with the Chanel bag, I didn't realize everyone's with bated breath and kind of pulls it out. It's like, huh, it was Chanel. So, and then somebody literally, it
Oh, I
fell out.
honestly,
It was like,
I
I thought it really was Chanel. And that's,
oh, that's so good. So it just goes to show you how lawyers are so busy that they have no time to even worry about gifting their clients and keeping them on. And when you talk to them, how big of a concern was it for them?
well, when I did my research, I think it was about 70%, I'd say, 70 to 80. I'm trying to remember the exact number. And obviously, I'm
Yeah.
still continuing having these conversations because it's so fascinating. But I'd put it around at least 70% are, that's kind of their biggest concern is retaining clients because it's a lot of work to acquire clients. So after you've
Right.
put in all that work and expense, and time, you know, lost billable hours to try, to client acquisition, you don't want to lose them. And it's happening so much in this world. I mean, in the legal industry, it's sort of getting smaller and smaller. So a lot of firms merging. So you could have two kind of medium-sized firms here, and they end up merging and becoming this, kind of one of the top five biggest firms. So it's almost like nobody's in the industry is safe, as it were. People may be branching out, especially now, post pandemic, thinking I want more control over my life or for it to look different. So you have people taking their practices and going and opening up their own firm, and then those clients going with. So it's kind of a ripple effect through the industry. If you're small, you're competing with the bigger guys. With the bigger guys, you're competing with smaller guys that may merge, or with clients that say, we want to go with somebody more boutique to feel, to have that smaller firm that it feels more um, personal. So yeah, it runs the gamut of the industry.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me. My immigration lawyer, she left during COVID, and I followed her for my renewal. So
Mm,
parent company did it, and for my renewal, she did it, and it was way cheaper. And I love her, so I would follow her anywhere. So I never even bothered or considered, because it was just a nameless, faceless, giant
mm,
robot company, right? So, and
exactly.
so you talked about the research that you did. Um, let's take a step back now. How did
Mm.
we meet? Do you remember, how did I ever come onto your radar?
So I was being the class goody two shoes, and I recall you were hosting an event. So, because I'm a certified woman-owned business, you were hosting. I remember you'd come and presented at an event, and you were talking about improving your pitch. And so, of course, I
Mm.
said I want to go, and I remember I was like, me, and so I pitched to you, or what I had at that point in time.
Yeah.
Um, and that's how we met, and it just kind of went on from there.
And what was happening in your business that you decided to hire me?
Um, I so again, being woman owned, a woman owned enterprise, it gives you access to be able to work with corporates that want to do business with diverse suppliers, such as myself, and a lot of that is having conversations and kind of showing that value, and you've got to be able to do it in elevator pitch time. Um, and then also just being, you've got the elevator pitch time when we're in this kind of round robin as we were in, but then you've actually got the presentation, um, when you actually get some time, you get some face time with a corporate representative. And so kind of being able to communicate, then across that longer stretch of time, one-on-one. And so that was kind of the drawing factor, because I know you've got so much experience in
Mm.
helping people with that, everything from the short pitch to the longer proposal. You've been in those rooms, both, as you are now coaching people. And obviously, you've got that rich history of being on the other side, on the buyer side as
Right.
well.
Yeah,
So you're bringing
for
all
sure.
of that together to the table.
That's great. And so talk a little bit about the process of our work together.
Um, Wow, it seems so. When you're always doing it, you're like, I forgot that I wasn't doing it that way. But
That
I
so it's
definitely.
internalized.
Hmm?
If something becomes internalized, is that what you mean?
Exactly, exactly. But
Like what?
I recall I definitely resisted the nation. Um, I mean, because people love presents, everybody loves a gift, and so I was like, I can give gifts to everybody. So
Everyone.
why looking down? And I think when I'd looked at niching before and kind of read and learned about it, it was sort of like a pick a niche, who should you serve? And in past conversations, people said to me, you should serve law firms. They have money. You're a lawyer. And I'm like, it's not as simple as that. Not every lawyer is the same. The law may be the same, but
Yeah.
it's about personalities. And some lawyers are like, it's commodity. Just give me clients and I'll serve them. And then some, do want to think about it. They want to use it to build connection. They realize, to innovate and you've got to go beyond the transaction now,
Yeah.
not just say I've served the client and that's it. And so I just didn't know where to find my niche, and I was really resistant to it. And there was that, how do I know if it's right? I don't want to pick one and then it's not right. So what I liked when we worked together is that you actually applied science to it. So it didn't just feel like I was going with the gut instinct. You said, okay, these are the steps. Here is how we're going to research, and it was mathematical, it was scientific, it was data driven, so that the data doesn't lie. Even if my gut was saying, I think I should go there. I mean, based on kind of the steps you took me through, there were a couple of things. It wasn't just the data of, yes, this is who needs you and this is what they need you for. That, I mean, that was great, but there was also even just by doing the research and following those steps you showed me, learning who I could easily have access to and actually be able to reach. And some of the people I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be much easier to
Mhm.
contact those folks than those. It actually wasn't that way at all. So I just really liked that it was really action driven and data backed up by data. That's
Yeah.
what stuck out to me.
I mean, that's what I love about the fact that you picked lawyers is that we didn't pick it because you were a lawyer.
Mm,
We picked it because you had the highest reach. They had the biggest pain point that you could help them with, which was most expensive. They were willing to pay you what you wanted, and you knew their pain inside and out. So you were very obviously close to them. But we did look at other niches. I didn't just say you're a lawyer, let's just do lawyers at
right.
all. You
Yeah.
actually did try to talk to other niches and other industries, and we came by this honestly. So that's why I feel so comfortable now with this niche. So I mean, tell me about the pitch story, the actual pitch story of why we're here. Because I'm so impressed by how you're now instinctively changing how you present yourself, and what how it turned into a spontaneous request for a sales meeting. Tell the
Mm,
story.
yeah. That was great. Yeah. So because we apply this science to actually to think about what the pain points could be and actually present and say, okay, what are you looking at, this, or maybe even something else, so really kind of getting to know the market. Once the strongest pain point was isolated, which in this case it was retaining clients, again, you see the value of it to retain a client. It saves you money in acquisition. Repeat business tends to come along with a greater spend. You're building a relationship, so then you get that longevity from it as well. So one of the things that you highlighted is, I think before I was, what was I saying? See, that's what I mean. It's ingrained now that I can't remember. But I really led with the gifting part, right? And one of the things I said was, I'm a professional service provider through and through. I've always worked at law firms or consultancies, just always in that professional service provider. And so I didn't want to be a commodity gifter where you go on and say, here's a range of gift baskets, I'll pick one, or gift boxes, they look pretty. For me, it was really about having some strategy around that, making it that experience bespoke to whichever client I'm working with. And so one of the things that you pointed out is that, I was leading with, I'm a corporate gifter, which then was kind of going to that commodity end of the market. And you said, actually, no, you're an engagement expert. You're providing retention strategies, and you're looking at the longer term view, not just, okay, you need 50, you need 500, here you go, but rather, okay, let's look at why. And so because of that, I started using the word saying retention. Now, I would admit I kind of worded it as gifting with a view to retention, and I've since this recent meeting I've changed it again, because I was like this, introducing myself. It wasn't even a pitch; it was a
Yeah.
pitch, but just to introduce yourself. And so it's always a pitch, folks. It's always a pitch. I
Life is a
respect
pitch.
you. Yeah, life is life pitch. There you go. That's your next life pitch. So, and as I was kind of describing in this meeting, with a few of us, one of the people said, you're not even, it's not that you're gifting, they're like, you're really providing retention strategy, and they kind of pitch for me, because they kind of explain, they're like, that's really what you're doing. Yes, it happens to be that you're using gifting for it, but that's what you are. And this is really fascinating, because this isn't what I get when I go to more of the sort of commodity gifter that says, okay, and we can customize too. You're thinking about the bigger picture. And because of this, there was somebody, and ironically, they're a professional service provider, not a legal service provider, but professional services. And all of us, irrespective,
We all need.
client-driven industries, right? Competitive client-driven industries. They were in finance, I think. Said, "Huh, excuse me." Actually, she said, "I've just been looking you up, and I need to connect with you because I don't do anything with engagement and retention. I try shouting out into you know, the big black hole that is social media." So she's like, "This having something more focused,
Yeah.
and just a way to let clients know I'm thinking of them, and referral sources so they can send us more of the clients that we like to work with." She's like, "I could use you." And so yes, that has led to us setting up a sales meeting. So I'll have to let you know how that goes, Charla,
That
once.
goes. Yeah,
Yeah,
fingers crossed. But I love it. I love it because when you talk, I mean, such a day and night difference between somebody and there's a million gifting companies and a million promotional, products companies. And
mm,
I've worked with a few of them. And when they introduce themselves, and even the wise ones, they now know not to say that they're a promotional products company, but none of them get to the level where they call themselves strategic partners or whatever it is that they do, but they don't ever message to
mm,
one actual specific pain, which is what we do, right? And
yeah,
so and to one specific industry's specific pain. And
mhm,
I mean, everywhere around the world, law firms are feeling the pinch. Like you
yeah,
said, for part of the great resignation, lawyers are leaving the big firms. The big firms are struggling to keep, their clients. So when you add to that your personal network of being able to get into those rooms because you're still a practicing lawyer, and to be able to say, I know your pain and I can help with that very specific issue, I think is setting you apart so well that's why you're not only able to communicate much much more clearly what you do to help people, except to say this generic I give gifts,
mhm,
and you're also able to secure some sales calls, which is really all this is about. So
yeah.
thank you so much for sharing all this. Now, do you have any advice? Now I know, like, you're a very busy mom to two too, right?
Yes, 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 yes. I keep me
Two
my
little
toes.
ones, right? And you have still a very busy law practice. You have, the gift tailor, and you're traveling a lot. So, what advice do you have to give to people who kind of like are saying, I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to, niche or look at my business or change anything about it because I'm so busy. I'm just going to, get what I can and go with the flow. Like, what advice do you have for them?
Yeah, I'll give that. I'll caveat one thing. I actually consult in compliance now, so just for bar purposes, I am still a lawyer, but not practicing with a practice at the moment. So I do not want to be called up. You have to, it's holding
Of
yourself out
course,
there.
you will
Yeah,
correct
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Of course,
It,
the lawyer will
I was
correct
in
me.
house. I was in house. So yeah, now so I am busy, but consulting, not practicing. So I'm not in front of the judges anymore. Thanks, thank goodness. But yeah, advice wise, okay. So my when I introduced myself before, I'd say something like the gift tailor, bespoke gifting made simple. And what does that mean? What does that mean? Bespoke. Okay, it talks about what I do, but how does it really resonate? It sounds nice, like, oh, that sounds lovely, but what does it mean? Who does it talk to? Because now we've hammered this out to engagement and retention, strategy around it. So now when I introduce myself, and instead of saying, hi, I'm the gift tailor and I do, gifts, I make bespoke gifting simple. Okay. As opposed to, hi, I'm the gift tailor and I assist law firms. So, who I'm working with
Mhm.
strategic gifting strategies to improve client retention rates. Like the people I'm speaking to get that, they know that. And you don't even have to be a law firm. If you run a business, if you work in a strategic or executive level, you understand the importance of retention, of keeping your customers, right? Because that's your revenue generator. People understand that, and so I know it seems like it may seem initially like, oh, there's something I can do myself or something I can put off, but you know,
Yeah.
with clarity, comes coins. That's what I say. It's so much easier to get those conversations going, um, and for people to understand what you can help them with, because
Mhm.
bespoke, if I just say bespoke gifting, that's very broad, and it could be anything. It could be, honestly, people are always looking for gift boxes. This is a problem I always had. I don't see any baskets on your website. Oh, you do gift boxes, okay, oh, tchotchke, swag, and it's like, no, that's not really an offer.
So
It,
different. Yeah.
I culminate in a gift, but it's all curated. But rather than focusing on that, it's like, why
Mhm.
I do it. And for my business, it wasn't just for there to be something pretty and for it to just be checked off at the end of the day. That also happens, but it's really about helping somebody build their book of business, grow their firm, and so it's worthwhile working with somebody like Chalas so that for your specific business, your USP, you can really kind of pin that down and get
Mhm.
clarity around it in your mind to help you go out and have conversations, and in other people's minds so they can raise their hand and say, I think I need to speak to you, or so they can even tell somebody else about you
Yeah.
as
Like
well.
what happened to you. That's wonderful. I am so, so grateful to you for being a guest. And I
Thank you for
have
having me.
so much, pride in what you're doing. And you
Thank
should do the
you.
same. And here's to celebrating your big, big, big growth.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Charla. Enjoy the
Take
rest of
care.
your Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right.